All right, guys, today I got Sarah Lyons, a Century 21 Centurion agent, sometimes double Centurion.
Yep. Yep. Last year was double. Yep.
Very nice. And we're going to talk about the worst return on investment you could possibly do for your home.
Yes. So a lot of things that people don't realize, items you do to your house don't actually influence your resale value nearly as much as what your neighbors do to their homes. It is an unfortunate thing that I didn't know before I got into real estate. And after doing this for more than a decade, I have come to learn a lot of these untold stories or untold truths about how appraisals work.
Hmm.
Choosing to redo your flooring is obviously going to help on resale value when it comes to what buyers are looking for. But the choice between doing a high-end hardwood floor versus an engineered hardwood versus a nice laminate, an appraiser can't really adjust for those things, and people don't realize how that affects their value. I often am asked, what's the best return on investment, but also what's the worst return on investment?
Yeah.
If you really, really want a home with a pool, I will always tell you find a home that already has a pool and then make the house adjustments to make it how you want it.
Why is
Um,
that?
because you'll spend literally $100,000 on a pool in today's market. Post COVID, home prices went up, but so did things like pools. They went up significantly. What would have cost you $60,000 for a pool is going to cost well over $100,000 now. The resale value and the appraisal value is not replacement cost. You spend $100,000 on your pool, you'll be lucky to get 25 to 40,000 in an appraisal value increase. So return on investment on a pool is awful. It's one of the worst things you can do. If you really want a home with a pool, get a home that already has a pool. That way the first person, the one that installed it, is the one that took that hit, not you. Realistically, it's only going to go up a minor amount compared to what it'll cost you. The other thing that's awful for resale value is your solar panels. Those solar people are relentless. I get on my soapbox on a few things. Solar is one of those big things. If you come at me in Lowe's when I'm trying to ask for help on a product and you try to sell me solar, I will chew your ass out. I will literally like scold you because they are a ripoff. They
Yeah.
are absolutely a ripoff. I've experienced dozens of times selling homes with solar between leasing or purchasing. This past weekend, I met with a past client who has owned their home for 4 years. They got duped, and they even say they were duped into purchasing solar for their home. $72,000 loan to put solar on their house.
$72,000.
Yes, that's a second lien on top of their mortgage now. So it has to be paid off for them to sell
So
their
they
house.
financed the 72,000,
Yeah.
and now they have two liens against two active loans on the house.
Yes, they have their mortgage on their $250,000 house and the $72,000.
So if an appraiser comes in and
Uh-huh.
he looks at the house, is he going to value now the house is worth $72,000 more?
Heck no.
No?
Just like that pool, it's not replacement cost. It is what some other people's homes with that same product have increased and sold their home for.
Okay.
So if they find that some other homes with solar have sold for $5,000 more, $10,000 more, that's how they value those adjustments. I've also seen appraisers give diddly squat for solar
So
also.
then when you go, if you're the buyer's agent and you're trying to buy a house that has solar on it, you just make them an offer kind of based on the home as if it didn't even have solar, or do
Pretty
you?
much. You might give them a little bit of value, but also too, it depends if it's owned versus leased. If it is leased, all bets are off. You actually have diminished your resale value because it makes it a lot harder for a buyer to want to take over that contract because they have to assume your loan, your lease contract. I recently had a home, so I met with the clients that are going to be selling their home coming up. They have the $72,000 loan and they're paying $400 a month for that. And the solar lease person basically lied or mistold them that they were going to be able to have a buyer take that over. And just like them taking over your current mortgage, they're not going to take over that loan on your behalf.
So it kind of indicate to me then that the banks also they're unwilling to finance those. So when they're only financing to the value of the home, obviously because of the appraiser.
Yeah.
So then does this buyer have to get a second loan and assume that loan?
No, if it's a lien like this and it's a purchase contract, you can't sell the house without all liens being paid off. So it will be paid off as part of the real estate transaction. So they are going to.
Where's that money come from?
From the seller's pocket. It's basically they're in the red on their home value.
So now the seller, I mean, you do it all at the title transaction table.
Yes.
But they would, let's say they sold it for 300,000, but they have this $70,000 loan. Even if they own their house outright, now they're only getting 230, and the 70 leaves their pocket to pay off the solar.
Yep.
And the new person's purchasing the home for 300.
Yeah. And they get to take advantage of the solar on the home because now it's part of the house without the loan. It's free and clear. Because you can't acquire someone's house without those loans being paid off. The title company won't let it close that way.
What if the solar panels are paid in full?
Then they
just assign a value to them?
Yeah, I mean the value is based on what other homes with solar have sold for,
5 to 10,000.
5 to 10,000 more. So realistically, it's actually worse return on investment than that pool. But also the other part of it is so they currently have a $400 a month payment because of this loan that they're paying. They are not even using as much power as it needs, so they're getting to sell back to the grid, selling back power to the grid.
Right.
And I had them send me 12 months of what that has looked like. And some months it's as little as $29. Some months it's as high as $150 that they're getting as a credit. But even so, this one-story, 1,600 square foot house would have not had power bills more than $200 a month anyway.
Right.
So it's still, even on that paper, doesn't even make sense why the heck they made this decision. And that's why I've used to just kind of complain about it, but now I'm getting really loud about it because I've had more than a dozen times where solar has.
The math doesn't math.
The math doesn't mathing. Even with them, they were offering some like incentive credit rebates. And even so, those were not even $15,000 total off of that 72. They were even told that those were going to be able to like reassess their loan, but instead it's not even reassessing. They just got a credit and their payment didn't go down. It's still $401 a month.
So we inspect everything on a house, right? And we're actually, our inspectors have been going through classes to learn how to inspect solar. It's very complicated because there's so many different brands, so many different ways to attach them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the thing that we notate on every single one is now there's a penetration through the shingle.
Since it's like got to be attached somehow. Yeah.
You have to put some sort of fastener and it goes right through the shingles. And the shingles are designed in a way that if you do have a penetration, there's a boot or a flashing or something that goes around it. But they don't do that on
Yeah,
these.
to move the water away from the hole.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they don't do that. They literally just, they punch a hole and they fill it with silicone.
Yeah.
And they drill through it, which most of the time that's pretty good.
Water has a funny way of getting into things. I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
And so now you have 30 or 40 penetrations through this roof that are just drilled in. And so when we're inspecting them, we have to caution the client, like, listen, I didn't put a hose on it. I didn't inspect it during a rainstorm.
Yeah.
All I know is today I see 30 holes in your roof, and it would lead me to believe at some point it will leak if it's not leaking now. But I don't know because I've not been able to put water on it and test it.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of discrediting our own confidence by saying, I don't know if this roof is going to leak or not.
Yeah.
I do know there's a lot of holes in it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a holy roof.
Yeah, and so we just kind of have to explain to them, we don't know for certain. And also, I don't really know how to test the solar system to make sure that it's operating.
And the crazy thing is too, with the $72,000 loan, it's not even including a power bank. It's not including a backup bank. And a lot of consumers don't really realize. So we had our massive historic snowstorm, Snowmageddon, and we lost power for an extended period of time pretty much across the entire state of Texas because of ERCOT. Yeah, and because of our solar, our power grid for Texas. And yeah, if you do not have a separate bank to hold the power, your solar panels do diddly squat if the grid is down.
Yep.
And that extra cost for those solar banks or the battery banks, they can be 20 grand just by themselves. And so
I would probably just buy a battery bank and store power in it.
Yeah, Also, generator. We have a Generac generator on our house, and that kept us,
My old
power.
house had a generator. It was fantastic.
Yes, yeah, that's ultimately a much better return on investment if the loss of power is your motivating factor to get solar. Same with if your motivating factor is wanting to be good for the environment. There are some fantastic power providers locally that offer a green energy option. So, like Green Mountain Energy has a 100% renewable energy plan. You can pay a premium to get green energy without putting it on your house, taking this huge lien against your home, increasing risk of leaks. And we haven't even talked about insurance yet. Because if you own these solar panels, in North Texas, we are known for these hailstorms. We have had 3 major hailstorms just in the last 10 days in DFW.
Yep.
If you own those panels and now you have a hailstorm, just imagine how much that's going to cost when they get shattered. You have to have them removed, have your roof replaced. It increases your insurance premium significantly.
The labor to remove, because in order to replace shingles, you have to remove all of it,
Yeah.
put the shingles down,
And then put it back up and put more holes
and
in your
put more
brand new
holes in the
roof.
brand new roof.
Yes.
Yes. Which is why, so there are homes that are specifically engineered for solar panels. It's very rare to find it, but custom builders have gotten good at, if we talk about efficiencies and if you want to be environmentally conscious and things and be less reliant on the grid, whatever your needs are, if you build a home that was specifically built to accommodate it, and these penetrations can be changed from just drilling right through to actually building a support system, a chassis, if you will, for them. And then that when the architect and the engineers design the home, they've designed a certain section of the roof or a piece of the property that is designed specifically for solar with interchangeable systems that a roof then can lay underneath and still be waterproof. It's retrofitting the solar panels to an existing property that, one, there's a lot of inefficiencies, and two, you're drilling right through the
Yeah.
roof. And to your point with the um, talking about like environmental, one of the things that a lot of people miss out on is having one giant solar farm that you purchase power from is
Mhm.
far more efficient than having individual solar panels on a roof.
Yeah. It's just like if you purchased grain from a farm versus having your own little field in your backyard, you're
Yeah.
going to get a much better return on the investment of that space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all the diesel fuel and all the different things to get all the equipment to your house. The panels that are specifically made for residential are smaller in size. Everything needs a transformer, a system to push power in and out of the grid. So you multiply that by every single house that has it
Mm.
versus one giant farm that's set up for it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like hiring a lawn crew is better for the environment than doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Because if every single house has their own lawnmower, everyone had to produce or buy a lawnmower that was produced, buy all the fuel, buy all the things for it,
Yep.
versus
Gas stored in their garage.
right,
Yeah. Potentially have,
versus having like a delivery system where the guys have one lawnmower that they use all the time.
Mm.
And it's just, yep. Anyways,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
little
And
tangent, but
yeah, I mean it's a great example. Also, too, there's the other part that they also push is instead of purchasing, it's leasing. And I recently had a home on the market that had a solar lease on it. He did have the battery bank, so that was great. He actually had 2 electric car hookups even. But it ultimately caused his home not to sell. We had multiple buyers interested in the home until they got to the point of actually reviewing the lease contract and decided they did not want to take over that lease contract because it was too much risk to them. And I completely understand. We provided all kinds of information about the benefits as far as the cost because he was paying like $208 a month on a 2-story home, and his bills were essentially, on average, it was like $10 a month. It was pretty darn close. But it had a 25-year lease on it.
jeez.
You could choose to terminate early with a termination fee, but it was at like the 10-year mark. And it also had an annual escalation clause. So he was paying 206 right now, but every year it was going to go up a couple percent. So by the end of the term, it was likely not going to be a break even anymore. But finding buyers that were willing to assume, getting their new mortgage, having a new house, paying HOA, all of those things, plus adding this solar lease was something we had dozens of buyers look at this home and ultimately could not find a buyer that was willing to assume this loan. And it caused him to lose out on a few other homes that he had a contract on, new construction. And ultimately, we tried to move the solar. That was not an option. They would not allow us to move it to another property because that assumes too much cost. They would not allow, the only option they gave us, other than a buyer assuming his current loan, was to pay off the system, which was well over $45,000. And he didn't have the equity to be able to make that work. So he's still living in the home today.
So don't get solar
Don't get solar.
if you want to sell your house.
Don't get solar.